Good morning and welcome to the 445 Productive Through Joy show with your host and your boy, Dr. Michael Datcher. The show airs each weekday morning, hella early AF at 4:45 a.m. here on YouTube's Michael Datcher channel, then 4:45 p.m. on Facebook Live. Today, we're talking about thoughts, your thinking, how you think and what you think, and the thoughts that you hold in your mind, how they impact your level of productivity. So thanks for being here. If you're new, you can go to productivethroughjoy.com to see about us. We speak to groups, schools, and organizations about being productive through joy, of course. You can also simply go subscribe here and get all these videos for free. I did say free, 1, 2, 3, 4, free, and learn about us. Again, for those of you who are new, allow me to say a few words about myself. This is your host and your boy, Dr. Michael Datcher. I'm the author of the New York Times bestseller, Raising Fences, which was a Today Show Book of the Month pick. The author of the acclaimed historical novel, Americus, which just came out on iconic Third World Press in October of 2018. That book interrogates the intersection of race and violence in the American family. That book was nominated for a Pulitzer Prize. I am also the author of the brand new, as in April, Animating Black and Brown Liberation, A Theory of American Literatures. That book explores the intersection of activism and literature. I'm on the book tour for both of those books now. I'll be in Vermont at the Brattleboro Book Festival, in Kentucky at the Kentucky Book Festival, in Chicago at Northern Illinois University. I'm coming to you. I'm also the board president of the World Stage, a literary and jazz venue here in Los Angeles, great 501c3 nonprofit. Also, my educational background is UC Berkeley as an undergrad, master's UCLA, and my PhD in English literature from the University of California at Riverside. Listen, I'm an expert at being productive, right? I don't say that to brag or boast, but people are oftentimes surprised at my level of productivity when they hear about my crazy story. I am the product of a young girl who was violated at age 16 in a crazy story, gave birth to me at 17, and subsequently gave me up for adoption to an amazing single divorcee, yet at the time, no biological father, no adopted father. Listen, difficult times for the young MD, yet as Cool Modi famously said, how you liking me now? And if I can be this productive and be so through joy, we are saying that many of us can be similarly productive, and that's what inspires this business. Frankly, is what inspires me personally. So thanks for being here. Again, today, you can go to, again, Productive Through Joy to learn more about us. Today, we're talking, guys, about thoughts and productivity. And so point one is that you want to be mindful of your thoughts, right? You know, we hear a lot in the current context, which is great, about mindfulness, which is, I'm so happy that is happening because I'm a longtime meditator. And the mindfulness that is circulating in pop culture, which is good, but you don't want to just stop at this kind of the pop culture version. You want to do your due diligence. This can really change your life. Just this by itself, mindfulness, which is a way of thinking about meditation, a way of talking about meditation. And there are various ways to meditate. I use an ancient African, ancient Egyptian. They call themselves the land of Kemet, the land of the blacks. So we call it Kemetic approach. But whatever you do, there are many ways to make meditation work for you. But the thing is, you want to start by knowing that you can control and have power over your thoughts. You want to make that a go, because I know for many of us, including me, for a very long time, our minds would we would defeat ourselves by our stinking thinking. You know, playing feedback loops from our childhood when people who should have been loving us a little better didn't maybe have their own issues and would say things to us that were harmful or unhealthy, and we began to believe those things and play those things in our minds, even as adults. That is so common, which goes right into point two. As you begin to control your thoughts and master your thought, you want to place your thought on what I would just call things that are good, right? Good from your perspective. Love, justice, abundance, but in a more specific way for you and your family, in your community, and for those who you care about. You want to place your thoughts on the things that you want, believe in, the systems that you want to see unfold on the planet. You want to also do this by placing what I just call it passion or emotion behind the thoughts. I'm not sure why this is true, why it works this way, but for some reason, when you place emotion behind a thought, whether good or bad, that thought has the a greater possibility of manifesting, because literally thoughts are also things, as we now know from quantum physics. Thoughts are actually things, and they have the power to move uh, things, right, into what I call manifest or create things. Again, I don't know exactly why it works that way. I'm just telling you what I know of having done it many, many times of the experience. Your thinking is super powerful as kind of a pop exercise. I think about the times you've um, you've thought about someone, maybe some random individual, they just popped into your mind, or you've been really thinking about someone lately, and lo and behold, LOAND, behold, BHOLD, behold, they call, they pop up, you see them, you're like, I'm just thinking about you, brother. you know, that's many of us have had that experience, and we kind of think, oh, what a coincidence. Well, maybe you can call it a coincidence, but that's a kind of a pop version of how the mind can help to manifest things in the physical reality. There are many other more tangible ways as well, but I think because many people have had that experience, I want to give you that as kind of a pop version of what I'm talking about, of how thoughts are things, and when you place your mind on someone or a thing, that thing can manifest, come into your world, which goes right into point three. As you begin to systematize, right, in a systematic way, begin to live your life by framing what you want to happen in your life, starting with your thoughts. Listen, in my experience, again, I'm telling you what I know from doing it, from also from seeing it from other people who are on this particular path. Think about that. I mean, the ancient Egyptians believed this is true because they believed that in the beginning there was just God, energy. The oldest name for God they have, and probably the world has, is Amen, Amen, which is all over the Bible. Of course, we say, people in the Christian context say Amen, but it's the same word. It's the same being. In the Bible, it's translated as so be it. And in the Egyptian context, it's just being, right? So it's funny how when you have a little knowledge, how you begin to see things anew. All throughout the Bible, the oldest name for God, Amen, is all throughout the Bible, because that is the name that the people at that particular time used for God. Many names, including Amen. But it's just a sidebar. For those of you who didn't know that, I mean, it's good to do your due diligence, do your homework. I got a little distracted. I was preaching. I want to preach. I got a little preachy there. And so thoughts are things, and they believe that because there was one thing, Amen, and all things came from that. That means that the original energy that was there in the beginning is still here today. And so when you can identify, align with that original energy, you can do what that energy does, which is to create and make manifest, which is powerful. So I'm just saying that's how they kind of thought about, broadly thought about, systematically thought about thinking and thoughts, and that's what kind of like works from their perspective, is because those thoughts are a part of the original energy, the primordial energy. They call it Amen. So that may explain why thoughts are so powerful, why thoughts work and become things. But whatever the case, I'm not that concerned as to why it works. I just know that it works. So boom goes the dynamite. If you begin to do what I've just laid out in pretty simple terms, or reach out, we can talk more about it. I guarantee it changes your life, because when you begin to use your thoughts to manifest what you want what you want in your life. But the crazy sidebar is that it isn't a respecter of good or bad. So if you think a lot about so-called bad things happening, those things will happen. We say that in pop culture technology, we call that the self-fulfilling prophecy. There's even a name that social scientists give it, because of people who think bad things are going to happen. Lo and behold. Anyway, boom goes the dynamite. Thanks for being here, guys. We'll see you this afternoon at 4:45 p.m. Until then, let's talk about it and be about it. I'm out. Deuces.